How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
And I'm Pratik Cherian.
And this is our long-awaited review. You heard it here first, guys. First ever review of Megan. We're going to go spoiler-free, maybe touch on some things at the end if we want to, but we can pretty much go spoiler-free on this for the whole thing.
Professionals, we got this.
I have mixed feelings about this movie. It kept, winning me over and then kind of losing me and then winning me over again and then kind of losing me. And by the end, I felt like it ended on a losing me note. But there was enough in there that won me over. If just being vague, Pratik, what do you think of this movie?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. It almost felt like there were two different movies. There's one movie that's like this sci-fi story about like AI and the role it plays in our lives, and then this other story about the killer doll that goes crazy. And I honestly the horror movies part of it. I didn't care.
This is not a horror movie. I would say this is not a horror movie.
But I feel like you could classify it as sci-fi movie and horror movie.
Yeah.
And, it's the parts about the killer doll that I didn't care about.
It's like sci-fi thriller. If this would have spent more time on the killer doll aspect, there's not, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. There's not many kills in this movie. It's not Chucky, right? Yeah. And when I saw the trailer, I figured, man, they just did this with that Child's Play reboot with Mark Hamill where he's AI and this is essentially that. It's just, it's not in tone the same way. It's not horror. It's not as funny as that last one, as that Child's Play. I'm saying that last one like this is an entry in the Child's Play saga because it really does kind of feel like Child's Play, but if Chucky cares about Andy, cares about the kid, right? That's kind of what this is about. And that's not a spoiler, right? That's pretty much.
Yeah, no. Okay. No, it's not. Okay. Yeah.
So what did you like about this movie, Pratik?
I think like I said, I liked the part. I liked this exploration of the role of AI. I like how I like how the movie says something about parents that kind of just shove technology at their kids.
But parents don't do that. Come on,
nah,
it's totally unrealistic.
No.
This is a fantasy.
And I thought that part of it was interesting. Other than that,
there's not an embarrassment of riches with this movie.
Not really.
I liked Megan. I liked Megan a lot. I liked the little girl. The main.
Okay, all right, hold on. I'm gonna jump in here.
Go ahead.
Because I want to bring some positivity before
you
bring the negativity.
I can bring some more positivity.
I thought that the best parts of the movie was when it was Allison Williams' character Gemma, the girl, and Megan. When any scene that had those three in it and just the dynamics at play between those three, I thought was great. I thought every character besides those three was kind of a joke character and very obviously in a different movie.
Yeah. I would almost say most of the characters were joke characters, even Gemma. Not that she's a joke character, but she's a very one-note character with not much. Is there any development in her?
Well, she goes from she really goes into caring, right? We do see her develop
into Karen or
Karen.
Okay, I was
we see her develop this arc where when her niece first arrives,
right?
It's very much of a everything is geared towards not kids. It's very, very obvious. And then by the end of it, by the end of the movie, she's adjusted her life a little bit more.
I guess it seems more like a forced lesson learned than a natural lesson learned, if that makes sense. And maybe that's the whole point of the movie.
Isn't that kind of life though? Life forces lessons on you.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. I don't know. I hate saying this, but it felt like an unearned development in her character arc, just kind of out of nowhere. Considering all the things that have to happen for her to be maybe I'm a shit person. I don't know.
It wasn't even that.
She doesn't even ever even acknowledge herself as a problem. The movie acknowledges her character as a problem without getting into it too much, but she doesn't, and that kind of irritated me.
And I think that's one of those things that it's one of the things I liked about her performance is I thought that she was able to convey there's there's a scene where there's like a demonstration for Megan.
Yeah.
And something happens in that scene, and I thought that the emotion that Allison Williams portrayed, like without having to like speak out loud or like explain to the audience like this is what I'm feeling. I thought she kind of like.
Are you speaking on the first or second presentation for Megan?
The second one?
Okay.
Yeah,
I agree there.
Yeah, I thought that she was able to convey a lot of the emotion and a lot of like, to your point of like some of that self-searching where like it really was like almost introspective.
I feel like Megan and the child though are doing the heavy lifting in all of
well,
that. You know,
so
like,
their relationship is what like puts the
that's the basis of this movie.
Yeah, and that's what causes like her to put a spotlight on herself in ways. So yes, you're right. Like nothing happens to her that like prompts all of this, but it's not like she doesn't go through something.
It just felt like to me. I mean, okay, so it's obvious from the beginning of this movie that she doesn't. You know, it's an unexpected thing that she's taking on this child. She doesn't necessarily want to take on this child. I just don't get that she would want this. Like all of a sudden now she has this motherly nature just because
I know
things.
I don't even think it's motherly necessarily, because there's a scene earlier where like a character kind of asks her like why do you even want to do like why
right and her answer is not good enough for me.
It's very much of a like,
well, because she says to her, the character says to her that there's another much better situation that this child could have been in, and I'm like, man, why wouldn't that just happen? But I
kind of took that more to be about like duty and responsibility, even if like there's no real reason for her to feel that.
Nobility has not been like a big like standout for this character for me to be like, oh, you know what? Because because of honor, she's gonna like, I don't know. Just I guess I didn't get her motivation other than like. It seemed like the right thing to do.
I agree with you. I thought that could have been explained a little bit better.
Yeah. And all the other characters, including her boss, which was the standout of this movie as far as like I could not stand her boss. He's a stand-up comedian. He's funny and all. I really felt like they gave this guy one take and we're like, oh, it's gold. He's fine. Just move on.
Like I said, I thought all of the side characters were just kind of like,
but you know what? In horror movies, maybe because this isn't a horror movie, but in horror movies, usually when there's an actor who just isn't really delivering, they kind of don't give them a lot to do. I feel like they gave him like just so much dialogue. I'm like, okay, it just kept dragging on, and maybe this is a bigger issue because this movie has like huge pacing issues for me.
I'll actually agree with you on that. Yeah. Like. The movie's what, an hour and 40 minutes long.
It felt way longer.
It felt like a 2.5 hour movie
for sure. Yeah. Like, and I don't know. I feel like I'm shitting on the movie now, but I enjoyed it overall. Like it's not a bad movie.
I think it's because like the things that you can point out that are flaws in this movie,
they're so much more obvious than
and like the stuff that's good is really good, but it's really like one category, so it's hard to.
And this movie could have stayed like it needs to pick a lane. Like it becomes too nonsensical at some points, and whereas this could have stayed like very realistic for the whole movie, and there's just like little bits that are like, oh no, but it's a movie, so this, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Which is fine. I honestly feel like, you know what this kind of reminds me of in a way is Don't Worry Darling, because Don't Worry Darling, I enjoyed it, but it didn't do anything brand new for the genre or for movies or cinema or anything like that. This is kind of similar. It's just kind of. But it was cool. I liked how they went about it.
This and Don't Worry Darling is this has like
Don't Worry Darling has an amazing sound mix and a great cast and a great director.
Speaking of sound, can we the like choice of like the music that's in this is
yeah,
weird.
I don't know. I don't know.
Where did that come from?
It was fine. It didn't take me out, but it was like it's definitely like this movie is making a tonal choice to be something. Or be like a couple things, and it's like that's what we're doing here.
All right, you ready to score this?
Can you go first? I'm just like I'm a little. I don't know yet. Are you ready to score this?
Yes. Yeah. I've had this score. I don't love it, but I'm gonna say a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
It's a 6. You could probably talk me lower pretty easily.
I think if I watch this again, it could even go higher. But I
don't know that this is a movie I would ever watch again. There's like there's one or two like small things I liked in it, but generally speaking, I don't know that I'm like it's so good I'm coming back to it.
I feel like it was funny enough that like maybe not enough. I feel like if somebody was interested in watching this and it was on like HBO Max or Netflix or whatever.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Then yeah, for sure.
I'd turn it on and I'd be like paying half attention to that while I'm on my phone.
Okay, but like your friend comes up to you and is like, "Oh, hey, I want to go see Megan in theaters. Will you come with?"
I have to really like this.
Yeah,
friend.
you were like,
I'd have to really like this friend to want to hang
how
out.
drunk can I be while watching this? Okay. So yeah. I guess I'm right there with you. I think I might go, just give it one more chance, but this would be a tough theater experience just because pacing alone was rough. It was rough for me. But I'm thinking 6. It was a decent film. I liked it enough.
Yeah. All right. You want to take us out?
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next week for whatever we're doing, and then we got a bunch of stuff coming up. Mandalorian's coming back. Quantumania. Come on now, a lot of stuff.
We'll be here.
We'll be here.